We are back into the world of mobile cranes, and this time it's all about safety, quality and efficiency. It is the Tadano ATF 60G-3, and if we look at one end of the box, there is some technical information about the real crane. With a quick flick of the wrists, we turn the box around, and it's a WSI model, and it's in the colours of the French company Foselev.
Let's weigh it up.
The whole box is carefully placed onto the weighbridge, and we get just over 3 pounds. What is 1.37 kilograms? It turns out that to complete the review we need to open the box and see what's inside. One tray says bottom, so we had better turn it over, and then we need to cut the tape. And as you may have noticed, there's no instructions included with this model. After the intricate knife work, we can lift the top tray off, and there's the model parts inside. With the crane out, there's one other piece of packaging to remove. We will start by getting the crane ready for the road, and we'll add on the lattice fly jib in the transport position. It rests in place, and it's an easy job just to insert a pin. The crane should be able to carry some of its own counterweight, but for some reason on this version of the model the counterweight isn't separable, and therefore it's too thick to fit under the boom in a transport configuration. On site we can raise the handrail to a working position, and then proceed to set up the outriggers. They work in the usual way, you just pull them out, and then you just unscrew them to lower them. The range of movement is good enough, and if you use the included spreader plates, you can pose the model wheels free. Another nice feature on the model is the deck ladders, and they can be rotated and lowered. To attach the counterweight it needs to be screwed into place, and 2 piston cases have been modelled with screw threads at the end. And then you can use the included tool to screw the counterweight into position. Another small feature is the cab access plate, which can be pulled out. To alter the angle of the boom, there's a grub screw in the ram jacket, and you use the supplied key to loosen and tighten it. The telescopic boom sections pull out easily enough, but you do need to make sure you've got plenty of load on the hook, because the rope might not be easily free-rolling. Each boom section can be locked at approximately 100% and 50%.
Let's weigh it up again.
With the model completely assembled, let's get it back onto the weighbridge, and it's 2 pounds 5 ounces, or just over 1 kilogram. For the detail we start underneath, and there's a fixed ladder at the front, and as you can see the suspension and drive shafts are modelled in detail. And this crane has all 3 axles driven. At the rear you can see the attached toolbox. The driving cab has got beacon lights, mirrors and windscreen wipers, and the Foselev graphics are very sharp. There's a loop for attaching the hook, and a convoy exceptionnel sign. On the side of the cab there appears to be a fleet number, and the other details include textured access steps. The metal outrigger beam is nicely formed, it has chevron graphics, and the piston has a smooth surface. The pads are also accurately modelled. A very nice detail is the branding on the tyres, and the built-in steps on the carrier have modelled grab rails at the top. Detail on the carrier deck is good with positioning points for the counterweight, and nice diamond-plated textured surfaces. The cab has got metal grab rails, there are wipers and a highlighted door handle. The walkway plates outside the cab also look good. Behind the cab there are textured steps leading up. There are more sharp graphics on the body, including warning signs. The hoist rope is decent quality, and there's also some nice hydraulics detailing. The counterweight slabs have formed lifting positions. At the back there's another beacon light and some chevron graphics. Moving around to the other side there's more engine equipment detailed and a very nice mesh grille. And the Foselev decoration is attractive. Some of the smaller highlights includes the equipment alongside the cab, and the toothed slewing ring is nicely formed. There's also a mirror to help the driver, and the signal light is modelled too. At the back the big toolbox is modelled and it has a Convoy Exceptionnel sign. The lights have plastic lenses and there's a realistic number plate, and some of the tiny highlighting is really good. The boom sections have a realistic appearance because the walls are thin, and each one has Foselev graphics. At the boom head there are chevron graphics, and there are individual metal pulleys. The hoist cut-off safety chain is there, but it's easily dislodged. The big hook block is a decent metal part, and there's also a Tadano load block to keep tension on the ropes. The chassis has independent steering on each axle, and the range of movement is best described as moderate. There is also a working suspension on each axle, and that works well. Out on the road the crane moves nicely enough in a straight line, and while we're at it we can test the stiff suspension. With the steering set you can achieve a tight turning circle. The winch drum works well because it has a positive brake action, and it's operated by the included key. Another option we have for the model is to attach the fly jib, and to start that process we need to remove the hook, which had been carefully reeved in the factory. So if you do this you might have fun reattaching the hook later. The fly jib sits easily enough over the boom head, and to secure it in position you use two long pins, and they slide into position in a straightforward way. The fly jib has a pull-out pulley to guide the rope, and there's also a single line hook block. You can also adjust the angle of the fly jib by using the ratchet. A nice small aspect is the holder for the single line hook block. WSI has produced a very nice model of this Tadano crane, and this edition of it in Foselev colours looks very attractive. Both the detailing and the functionality are to a high standard, and this model also pairs well with others in the Foselev colour scheme. So if you want a nice model of a 3-axle crane, then this one has enough going for it to be rated as excellent.